Look what came in the mail.
You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You'll never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's Ball like Barry. You gotta know ball, you gotta know game, you gotta know love, you gotta know pain. You never get ahead if you're thinking like a lame. And most of all, you better know my name. It's Ball like Barry, Ball like Barry, Ball like Barry. It's Ball like Barry.
Real quick, before we get into the rest of the games, I just want y'all to know, I was 14 for 16 in game picks this week. I only got 2 games wrong. Seahawks, Steelers, because I bought into the Aaron Rodgers hype, and then Vikings, Falcons. I slept on the Falcons heavily. That's on me. Other than that, every single game I got right. So if you're looking to place bets, tune into your boy. Let's get on to Sunday, where my Green Bay Packers will be going to Cleveland to play Joe Flacco and the Browns. Going to be a good game. Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft had a great week last week. Love to see the quarterback tight end chemistry. Need to get some of that going with our wide receivers, though. Romeo Doubs doing his thing. Dontavion Wicks doing his thing. Let's get Matthew Golden doing his thing. He had that poor timing on that throw to Golden last week. Should have been a touchdown. Allowed the DB to get up and knock the ball away. Not ideal. Let's get some of that stuff ironed out in practice. I want to see Jordan Love continue to extend himself from the competition. I want to see him be worthy of that crown of Green Bay Packers quarterback. Remember the 27 rule. Brett Favre won at 27. Aaron Rodgers won at 27. Jordan Love got to get you the Super Bowl at 27, baby. Not worried about the Browns at all. Myles Garrett does lead the league in sacks, but dude, we can play around that. If they take away the pass game, we'll just run it with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs loves meeting people in the A-gap. He'll find Mason Graham and truck his ass. I'm not scared of him at all. Would love for our defense to get to Joe Flacco, for them to have to play Dylan Gabriel. Not any injury or something. I wouldn't hate seeing Dylan Gabriel or Shadur this game because, dude, we're going to eat Joe Flacco alive. I'm not worried about eating these little rookies alive either. They are not ready for the show, especially not against the Green Bay Packers, who are consensus number 1 defense in the league. A lot of people have them as the best team in the league. Bro, I'm so happy we got our guy, bro. Micah Parsons. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Dallas. Shouts out. Love you down there in the Big D with Uncle Jay. Great to see you. Have a good one. We'll be seeing you on Sunday at noon in Cleveland. Don't you worry. Next up, Indiana Jones heading to Nashville to play the Titans. Cam Ward, you're about to see what truly great quarterback play looks like. Daniel Jones, second in the league in yardage with 588. He's got 2 touchdowns. And then Jonathan Taylor, the bell cow back from Wisconsin, back there running the rock, ready to rock and roll, knock your block off. Jeffrey Simmons is going to have his plate full, because once he thinks they got Jonathan Taylor locked up, oh, guess what? One of the offensive rookie of the year candidates, Tyler Warren, breaking free. He's got 155 yards off 11 receptions. Tyler Warren is great. He was great at Penn State. Only tight end I've ever seen run plays from the Wildcats successfully. He was getting touchdowns. He was getting first downs. He was running that offense like a quarterback. Just can't throw because he's a tight end, obviously. Make sure if you want, I do not doubt that the Colts are going to go up to 3-0. The Titans just aren't looking too good, especially on defense. Tennessee also doesn't have a running game at all. Like, yeah, Cam Ward's making some superhero plays, but brother, Calvin Ridley can't get open every play. If you don't have a running game, then you don't got a place in this league. The Titans picking top 5 again is not going to be surprising, especially if they can't win a game. They're about to be 0-3 after this week. Sucks to suck. But yeah, I got the Colts again. Indiana Jones will not be denied. Don't be surprised if he throws 400 yards this game. That's a conservative guess. Tell you what, I got Daniel Jones throwing for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Book it. I'm just kidding. I'm not like that. They are going to win, though. Next game, the backup bowl. Jacob Browning and the Bengals going to Minnesota to play Carson Wentz and the Vikings. Dude, there couldn't be, if you take away the number 1 quarterbacks, there couldn't be more comparable backups in this league than Jake Browning and Carson Wentz. This is actually going to be a good game. They still got all their weapons, aside from Aaron Jones for Minnesota, but Jordan Mason is looking like the RB1 anyway, so it's not going to be that big of a loss. Jamar Chase, him and Jake Browning should be on timing. They've been practicing together. They played together for a little bit a couple years ago. They should be on devious timing. Now, The question mark is, has Carson Wentz been on this Vikings team long enough to have chemistry with his weapons? Are him and Jetta's going to be on the same page? Are him and Hawkinson going to be on the same page? Aaron Jones is out. That's the check down. Are him and Jordan Mason going to be on the same page? I don't know. If Trey Hendrickson can get back there and fluster Carson Wentz, I don't see how the Vikings are going to be able to answer that. I'm going to pick the Bengals to win this one. Sucks because I got a couple Viking fan friends, but hey, I think that Jake Browning being with the team longer, with him having better chemistry with his offensive weapons and his offensive line, I think it's going to come out in his favor and they're going to beat the Vikings. It's going to be a competitive game, though. Best believe that. Steelers at the Patriots in Foxborough. Drake May and the Patriots looking to host Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Going to be a good game. I'm going to pick the Steelers simply because I hated being wrong last week and I want to be right about the Steelers this week. Considering the Patriots let the Dolphins get that close, then the Steelers are going to be able to separate themselves in this one. Mike Tomlin is a better coach than Mike McDaniel, believe it or not. Drake May and the Patriots, they had an okay game against the Dolphins. And remember, they lost against the Raiders, and we saw what the Raiders were last night against the Chargers. I think the Steelers will finally have their get-right mindset ready to rock and roll. It's a noon game, nothing too crazy. Aaron Rodgers and DK got to get back on their timing. Pat Freiermuth has got to hit the jugs machine. Couple key drops last week, not looking good for Pat Freiermuth. Needed him to get his vice grips back. On the other hand, Drake May and Keyshawn Boutte, that was a nice catch. I know y'all saw that highlight, that little back corner fade from Drake May. That was a nice catch. I just don't see how Drake May is going to be able to have enough time to employ those weapons when you got TJ Watt coming after you. I think Alex Highsmith is injured, but you still got Cam Hayward. You still got people like Patrick Queen, Jalen Ramsey, freaking big play Slay back there. There's just a lot of defensive weapons for Drake May to contend with, and I don't know how he's going to contend with all of them because that offense needs time for weapons to get open, and I don't think he's going to have enough time. The Patriots offensive line heavily penalized as well. I think TJ Watt's going to get in their heads, and it's going to be a bad day for the Patriots once he does. And then once the Steelers can just get 2 scores ahead of the Patriots, be it 10 points, be it 14 points, I think they'll be able to maintain that lead. The Steelers are going to win this one against the Patriots. Book it. Next up, this will be a great game. Rams at Eagles. Matt Stafford, the ageless wonder, against Jalen Hurts and the Tush Pushers. Yo, that's a devious name for a fantasy team, Tush Pushers. Anyways, look to see Saquon get going this game. It's the pass rush for the Rams. They're trying to hunt the quarterback and use that to your advantage. Get Saquon going, and then finally when they start crashing the run, then we'll get A.J. Brown going. A.J. Brown's been having a criminally quiet season so far. He needs to get the ball more. If you can get them respecting the run with Saquon, then you can get A.J. Brown the ball more. Hopefully it doesn't come down to being a tush-push game like the one against the Chiefs was. We definitely all saw those devious false starts by the Eagles offensive line. We don't want that. Whoever wins this game, it needs to be decisive. I'm actually going to take the Rams to win this. I'm a huge Jared Verse, Byron Young, Kobe Turner, Braden Fist truther. Yeah, that defensive line is nice. Just saying. Also, Ned Landman, great coverage linebacker. Love using him in Madden, which means they must be good in real life. The only weakness for the Rams is their corners, and Akella Witherspoon is injured, so if someone is going to break out, it's going to be a receiver, and A.J. Brown, a Devontae Smith. But I think the Eagles' O-line is going to have their hands full with the Rams' D-line, and Matt Stafford, the veteran that he is going to be able to get Puka and Devontae their touches. It's going to be a good game. Don't be surprised this is one of those more high-scoring games, like a 31-28 type beat, but I am going to take the Rams in this one. Then we got the Jets at the Bucks. Oh my goodness, the Bucks are going to absolutely slaughter the Jets, regardless of who's playing quarterback. I know Justin Fields got hurt. Tyrod Taylor came in a little bit, but bruh, you can't hand the ball to Breece Hall every play, especially not with Vita Vea back there ready to rock and roll and bounce his head off your gourd. It's not happening, big dog. You got Vita Vea rushing the passer. You got Yaya Diaby rushing the passer. I don't think the Jets' offensive line is going to be able to contend with those weapons. And if they do, then you got Jamel Dean, Antoine Winfield, Levante David in the secondary providing coverage ready to rock and roll and knock your block off. I don't see how Garrett Wilson gets open at all this game. They're going to run great zone defense against this Jets team, and it does seem like the Bucks are favored by 6.5 points. Yeah, I'm going to take the Bucks to win a really, really heavy-handed game here. Don't be surprised if they set starters toward the end because the Jets are not looking competitive. They had that one, haymaker battle against the Steelers week 1, but that might have been a fluke. Was not impressed by what I saw last week. Not really intimidated by the Jets going into next week. I got the Bucs going up to 3-0. Baker Mayfield's going to solidify himself as an MVP favorite in this week. You will know his name. I promise you will know his name. Next up, Raiders at Commanders. I got the Commanders winning this game. I don't know what Pete Carroll's doing. You take a guy that high, one of the best offensive running back talents we've had since like Saquon, and they don't use him at all. Also, he doesn't know how to pass block. That's why they bring in people like Dylan Laube, because they know how to pass block. Ashton Genty needs to learn how to be a pass blocker if he wants to be a 3-down running back in this league. Otherwise, he's always going to be a running back by committee guy, and they're not going to give him the rock on 3rd down when running backs love to get the rock. Until they can figure out what their identity is as a team, I got the Commanders winning this game. Pete Carroll needs to have himself a conversation with his coordinators and decide if Ashton Genty is going to be some weird gadget guy or if he's actually going to be a running back. Because Ashton Genty is the kind of guy that you design an offense around, not a little plug-and-play piece. He needs to be a 3-down guy. So if he's not good at pass blocking, teach him how to pass block. If he's got something wrong with the way he runs the ball, coach him up. Your job as coaches is to teach, not to sit there and go, oh no, whenever you're asked questions about why you're not using the 6th overall draft pick the way he should be used. Commanders, easy dub. Texans and Jaguars. The Texans got to get right at some point. They almost had the Buccaneers locked away, and they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. The Jags are kind of looking like they're imploding a little bit. I don't like the way Trevor Lawrence is acting with his head coach. He's also thrown 3 interceptions to 4 touchdowns. He's almost even Steven. I think CJ Stroud will finally get the weight off his shoulders. They love whooping up on the Jags. They'll be able to go into Jacksonville, beat the crap out of them in front of their home fans, and hit the plane happy. The Texans are going to win this game. The AFC South, even though their teams haven't been around as long, they're still fun to watch. They still hate each other. It's great to see. You love to see it. CJ Stroud is that guy. Him and Nico Collins are one of the best quarterback receiver duos in the league. Nick Chubb got going last week too. You love to see Nick Chubb, bro. He is such a great runner when he's healthy. He's an angry runner. He's mad at the ground for daring to get below his cleats, and he runs like it too. Love to see Nick Chubb. I wouldn't hate to see Nick Chubb run for 150 and 2 touchdowns against the Jags. I think the Texans are going to whoop them. It'll be a fun game. I'm probably not going to watch it. Not going to lie to you. Not the hugest AFC South guy, especially when Indiana Jones is up there running the show. But I do have the Texans winning this game. Broncos and Chargers. If anyone's going to find a way to scheme a good defensive plan to stop Justin Herbert, it's going to be Sean Payton and the Broncos. Pat Surtain is the current defensive player of the year. He's going to be looking to take away the Chargers' number 1, who right now is Quentin Johnston. Keenan Allen's back, and he's playing like he's never left. Ladd McConkey, great second year for the kid in the slot. PS2 can only take away one guy. And the Chargers' offensive line, even though they don't have Rashawn Slater, is still very good. Joe Alt will be able to take away the Broncos' pass rush. And after that, I just think the Chargers dot him up. And if they think they're going to take away the passing weapons, you got Amari Hampton, you got Najee Harris in the backfield ready to run. And Justin Herbert is a threat running the ball as well. He runs like a freaking tree, but he can still do it for some reason. Justin Herbert's got 560 yards, 5 touchdowns, currently the favorite in the MVP race. It's going to be a good game, but I do have the Chargers beating the Broncos, and the Chargers move up to 3-0. Starting to look like they're going to go on a little run here if they're not careful. 305, Saints at Seahawks. You love to see it. 2 teams I could care less for, but I got to pick a favorite. I'll tell you all a story. The reason I decided to become a Packers fan was because for some reason I got so angry when Brandon Bostic flubbed that onside kick recovery against the Seahawks. I was just so mad that that's how the Packers were going to lose that I decided, you know what? I'm no longer an Eagles fan. I'm a Packers fan. And I hope that never happens to my team again. So I really don't enjoy the Seahawks. I'm just not a big Seahawks guy. So I got the Saints finally, in an ugly, ugly fashion, getting themselves a notch in the win column. The Saints will move to 1-2 over the Seahawks and move to 1-2. Sam Darnold, he's going to get picked off by somebody. I like Kool-Aid McKinstry. He's a nice young corner. Demario Davis, future Hall of Famer. Cam Jordan, future Hall of Famer. Alvin Kamara, the offense has to run through him, but I believe he'll be able to eat on that Seahawks defensive line. Boye Mafe is not looking like the player he was in the past couple years. I got them beating the Seahawks. Let's go by a touchdown. It'll be a close game until the end. Then they'll start to run away with it. It's going to be fun. However, if the Saints let Sam Darnold and JSN get on their timing, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. We don't want to see that happen. I need the Saints to lock down JSN. I need the Saints to go ahead and put Sam Darnold back on his butt, get him seeing some ghosts. Let's get the Saints up to 1-2 because you don't want them to get the number 1 pick and be 0-17. They got to get some wins somewhere, and I think they're going to start in Seattle. Next game. Here we go. The Chaos Bowl. Dallas Cowboys going to Chicago to play the Bears. Caleb Williams is facing some allegations, some fraud allegations. He has to win this game. The Bears have to beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys defense, probably the worst in the league. If Caleb Williams can't get going against the Cowboys, then there's a fundamental problem. And it sucks because Caleb Williams won that Heisman for a reason. He went to USC with Lincoln Riley and did all that work because he's good. I want to see it translate well to the league, and it looked like it might just for a second there against Minnesota, and then it went away. And then they got dog walked by the Lions. They got to get this thing going against the Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Bears to win because if the Bears don't win, Tyson Bagent might be your starting quarterback for the Bears in week 4. Ben Johnson is not going to let Caleb Williams ruin his shot at being a head coach. So if it's going to be a Caleb Williams problem, then they're going to remove Caleb Williams from the situation. The Bears have offensive weapons. They have DJ Moore. They have 2 great tight ends in Cole Kmet and Colston Loveland. Swift is a good running back. They spent so much money on the offensive line. They're a good team offensively. If anyone can beat a team like the Cowboys, it's this Bears roster. And if quarterback is going to be the question mark, then they're going to erase the question mark and put in a known factor, and that's Tyson Bagent. They paid him good backup quarterback money because he's a good backup quarterback. He could probably start on a couple of these teams that had quarterbacks go down. Brian Schottenheimer, if you want to make some NFL headlines, put Caleb on his ass. I don't think they're going to be able to. Kenny Clark isn't going to be able to stop this team. Deron Bland and Trayvon Diggs ain't going to be able to stop this team. They shouldn't be able to stop this team. I got the Bears winning because they have to. Next game. Cardinals and Niners. Ooh, I'm a certified Mac Jones hater, unfortunately, but I love some CMC. I do love some CMC. CMC goes against the Cardinals like peanut butter going against jelly, baby. It's just natural. Ricky Pearsall kind of having a good season too. And Mac Jones didn't have a bad game at all. He was able to run that offense just fine. You could see that he's a starting caliber quarterback. He just happens to be in a backup role. I'd like this to be a competitive game. I'm going to take the 49ers. The Cardinals are due for a loss. They should have had a loss, in my opinion. Kyler Murray's not playing too crazy, but the 49ers can get Nick Bosa back there, can get Mykel Williams back there. Fred Warner can cause problems in the passing game. He's a future Hall of Famer. He just is. I think Kyler Murray will get a little flustered. You know, when he gets flustered, he runs around. They can sack Kyler Murray a couple times. It seems like James Conner is losing a step and they're trying to transition to Trey Benson, but it's a transition that's not happening as quickly as they probably would like. I'm going to have the Niners winning this one in a close game. Let's go 24-21 in this one. They finally found themselves a kicker. Thank God. Moody was causing some heart palpitations over there in the Bay Area. You could feel people's blood pressure go up when he had to walk out there and kick routine kicks. Kicks you'd see a middle schooler make. And bro, Jake Moody was just shanking them hoes. Glad they got themselves a guy. We'll see if it translates well this week, but I got the Niners winning this one. Time for the Loser Bowl. Someone has to win this week, unless they die. You got the Chiefs going to MetLife to play the Giants. Russell Wilson leading the league in passing yards with 618. Meanwhile, the Chiefs have no people to catch passes. But you got Juju. That's it. The ghost of Travis Kelce, who likes to gift wrap footballs and give them to defensive backs. This is going to be a toilet bowl. Malik Neighbors is the current receiving yardage leader, playing like a number 1 because he is a number 1. Malik Neighbors is my pick to be next up, to be the next wide receiver 1 in the league. Eventually, Malik Neighbors will be better than Jamar Chase, than Justin Jefferson. Malik Neighbors will be the best receiver in the league, if they can get a good quarterback to throw to him. Russell Wilson can't keep the moonball game going forever, but did y'all see that Hail Mary throw where the defensive guy had his hand on Malik Neighbors' eyes and Malik still caught it? You don't need to see. He uses the force. Malik Neighbors is a Jedi, and I got the New York Jedis beating the Chiefs. You heard it here first. Yeah, Pat Mahomes is great, but Pat Mahomes can't do it all every game. Someone's got to get open. Someone's got to be able to separate from the defense. And the Giants defense, oh, they're so good. They are so good. Dexter Lawrence, best defensive tackle in the league. Brian Burns doing great things. Abdul Carter, one of the great young rookie defensive weapons in this league. They got good linebackers in Bobby Okereke and Micah McFadden. The defensive backs are not bad either. You got Tyler Nubin. You got Javon Holland from Miami. You got Paulson Adebo from the Saints. The Giants are going to be able to cause problems for this Chiefs team. They're predicated on breaking up the pass, be it rushing the passer or locking down offensive weapons. And with Xavier Worthy out and Rashid Rice out, Juju Smith-Schuster is not going to carve this team up. I got the Giants winning, and I got the Chiefs not scoring more than 2 touchdowns. Book it. The Chiefs will not score more than 2 touchdowns. You heard it here first. Next game and last game. Easily game of the week. This should be required viewing for all children of all ages. Lions at Ravens on Monday night. Oh my God, this game's gonna be so good. Oh, I gotta pick a winner. Crap. I'm picking the Ravens. Okay, picking the Ravens 1 because go Packers, and I love to see the Lions fall. And 2, I think Lamar Jackson and Zay Flowers dot this team up. I think that the Lions are going to try hard to stop King Henry from being King Henry, and that just opens the lane for Lamar to run, and that opens the lane for Zay Flowers to get open. This is going to be a great game. Oh my goodness, bro. I hate that I have to pick a winner. The winner is the viewer. The winner of the Lions-Ravens game is the fan. Okay, that's how good this game is. Jared Goff is an amazing quarterback. He's doing great things up there in Detroit. He's got great weapons in Jameson Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's got good running backs. Jahmyr Gibbs, one of the best young running backs in this league. Arguably the best young running back in this league, depending on who you ask. And then on the defense, Aiden Hutchinson's a great pass rusher. You saw it when he was at Michigan. He's a hometown kid, and they took him because he's a hometown kid, and he gets after the passer. I looked under my bed the other night, and Aiden Hutchinson was there, and he scared the monsters away. That's how scary Aiden Hutchinson is. That's how terrifying he is to opposing quarterbacks. And then the defensive backs, Brian Branch, brother, he's so good. If we can get Kirby Joseph right, it's a wrap. Game over. You also got the young guy, Terrion Arnold. He looks promising. He gets burned a little bit, but hey, everyone's got to, you got to dip your toe into the NFL pool. You can't just go jumping in. And, he's kind of wading into the deep end now. And then for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, MVP favorite. One of the best dual threat quarterbacks we've ever seen. Arguably the best dual threat quarterback we've ever seen. If you take away the pass, he hits you with the run. If you crash down on the run, he throws it over your head with a pass. And then finally, Zay Flowers is finally separating himself from the other receivers on the team. He is their wide receiver 1, but do not count out DeAndre Hopkins. You saw the sticky glue hands against Buffalo. You saw the insane one-handed catch. It was routine to him. He didn't even break a sweat. He just stuck his hand out there and it stuck like Spider-Man. Also, Mark Andrews is still one of the better tight ends in the league. He just hasn't got going yet. He's waiting to break out. And he also got Derrick Henry. I dare you to stand in front of Derrick Henry while he's running full speed. You couldn't pay me to do it. Sorry. I'm just being honest. You could not pay me to stand there and take a truck stick from Derrick Henry. That shit keeps me up at night. I would be waking up in cold sweats thinking about it if I wasn't a fan of the game, but I am. And then the Ravens defense is so good. Kyle Hamilton, in my opinion, is the best safety in the league. You got one of the best linebackers in the league, Roquan Smith. Brother. Nate Wiggins, great young corner. Oh, Jair Alexander playing for his life right now because they didn't want him in Green Bay. He wanted to go over there to Maryland and do his thing with the Ravens, and he looks like he's showing up a little bit. Excited to see these two teams play each other. I'm going to pick the Ravens just because I got to pick a winner, but that'll be it for this week's picks. Oh my God.